Today, we're talking about Barcelona. 3 questions that we need to answer. Is Barcelona broke? Why can they still not register players? What the hell is an economic lever? According to Forbes, Barcelona is one of the top 5 most valuable sports teams in the world. They also had revenues of almost $1 billion when the pandemic hit. So they're not broke, they can actually buy players. Their problem is registering players. Why can they not register players, and what the hell is an economic lever? La Liga has a rule called the squad cost limit. The squad cost limit limits you from spending money on salaries or wages, which is far higher than what your revenue is. It's essentially financial fair play. Think about it as sort of like a credit card. If you had a credit card with this much of a credit limit, the bank doesn't want you to use the entire credit limit because you won't be able to repay it. If you just keep on using debt and building up debt and building up debt, you get into financial trouble. La Liga wants you to spend as a club, let me say this is a club, and you've got this much that you're allowed to use, let's say 60%. They want your squad cost to be manageable so that if the club gets into any sort of financial distress, as happened during the pandemic, the club can still function and not sink. The problem that Barcelona had is that the wages were so high, higher than the revenue that they were making, that when the pandemic hit and they had problems which resulted in them having to now start to take out loans, they took out a loan with Goldman Sachs, so they had to go into the market and look for money. What they've been trying to do with these economic levers is raise money to bring the squad cost limit down and allow them to register players. Unless they come down to the level of La Liga, they're not going to be able to register the 7 players. So what are economic levers? Essentially, the club has gone into a fundraising drive. They're selling access to the club. They've got 3 essential economic levers. Every club has broadcasting rights which they get from the league that they operate in. That's number 1. What they've done is that they've sold 25% of the broadcast rights. So 25% of the money that they would get from La Liga for broadcasting, they would sell that to a company for 25 years. Economic lever number 2 is called BLM, Barcelona Licensing and Merchandise. What BLM does is essentially it controls the licensing and merchandise of the club. They've sold a portion of that company to another company in exchange for money. Third is Barca Studios. Barca Studios essentially creates digital content such as NFTs and other online content. They've sold a portion of that as well to another company in order to raise funds. They were hoping to raise about 500 or almost 600 million euros. La Liga has told them that they don't agree with the calculation or the value at which those amounts are, and that is why they can't register these players. They've registered all 3 of those economic levers, or pulled on those 3 economic levers, but they need one more, which apparently they're looking to pull, which is going to bring them another 100 million euros and allow them to register players. What they've done, they've gotten their squad cost down, they've increased revenue, and they've now brought themselves within the La Liga limit, or that credit card limit that we spoke about earlier. So, is Barcelona broke? No. Can they register players? If they pull this 4th economic lever, they can. What happens in the future? What happens in the future is that players will continue to probably leave Barcelona and earn less wages, so that they don't have this problem next year of having to again reduce wages, sell parts of their business, which they don't want. So that's your explainer. If you'd like this type of content, follow us on our social media platforms, Cash N Sport on Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram as well, where we discuss all things sports business, specifically African related content. I'll see you guys next time.